What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the show. What is happening right now in crypto is one of those moments you're either in or you're going to regret missing this for the rest of your life. I'm not exaggerating. Stay with me here. You know how everyone says, man, I wish I bought Bitcoin back in 2017, or I should have loaded up on ETH before DeFi summer. Yeah, guess what? This is the moment right now. Here's what we're diving into today. Where we are in the markets. A lot of confusion, folks. I got you covered. Hint, it's one of the most profitable setups. Why Wall Street money is literally circling Bitcoin. A brand new DeFi breakthrough on the XRP ledger that could unlock a 10% APY, and how Ripple is making history on the global stage. Stay with me. And make sure you stick around to the end, because by the end of this video, you're going to see why I personally believe we are standing at the edge of the next parabolic run. Now let's start with the elephant in the room. It's right here. It is this beautiful, beautiful picture. I tweeted out, this is pretty accurate. Let me blow it up for those of you looking at the screen. What are we looking at, folks? It's simple. It's a bear trap. This is where we are. Right now, the majority of traders are screaming bearish. We're in that bear trap zone where smart money, guess what? They're accumulating while retail is freaking panicking. Think about it. Every single cycle, people call for the end. The market dips and then boom! That's when the rocket fuel gets loaded. This is where legends are made. You got shakeouts, capitulations, fake breakdowns. And that's exactly what institutions want. They want to shake you out. They want to accumulate. And when you are too scared to buy, guess what? They pump it. History repeats over and over and over again. And you know what happens next? You see this? We go straight on up and we climb and we keep climbing and we don't stop until we see all these altcoins have these blow off tops and you don't even believe it's real. But guess what? It is. And you know what? Couple spots left. I'm telling you right now, pause the video, hit the description of your video, fill this up. You're going to want to book your one-on-one call. Why? We'll get you an exit strategy. We'll get you a game plan. You'll come into this bull run, cool, calm, and collected, and you're going to exit having the last laugh. Spots fill up fast, folks. Check out the description in every single YouTube video and book it right now. Then we get this. We're going to throw some gasoline on a fire. You know we like it spicy around here. Bill Miller the fourth. This guy, folks, he's not some random influencer. Let's just put it out there. This guy, if you don't know who he is, I'm going to tell you who he is. He is a respected investor. He said something wild. And now think about this, okay? If just 2% of the 60 trillion that is sitting in US retirement funds flows into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, folks, at a minimum, we would be looking at $175,000 Bitcoin. That's 2%. That is super low. They are estimating around 10% of money from retirement funds is going to flow into crypto. Some analysts out there like Goldman Sachs, I think said like 15 to 20. Listen to this clip.
There are 60 trillion worth of assets globally in retirement accounts with zero allocation right now to digital assets. Every 1% allocation from that 60 trillion adds $30,000 to Bitcoin's price. And so from my perspective, a 2% allocation would be conservative when you consider.
All right. So we said every 30,000 or every 1% raises Bitcoin's price by 30,000. He's saying 2%, super conservative, which I 100% agree with. Keep listening.
That all of those assets are currently in a monetary framework whose authorities have told you they want to depreciate it by 2% a year. So why wouldn't those accounts stake 2% of everything denominated in melting ice cube and stick it in another protocol altogether? So again, that alone would take us to Bitcoin at 175K, or up more than 50% from here. We still think we are incredibly early. We're still seeing early signs of institutional adoption. You look at Norges, the world's largest sovereign wealth fund, almost 2 trillion in assets, has been increasing its exposure to Bitcoin digital assets. It's still a rounding error for them. But when the world's largest sovereign wealth fund, the world's largest endowment in Harvard is now buying Bitcoin, starts to do it, that opens up the door for all the other relevant parties, other endowments, other sovereign wealth funds to do this. And
folks, he's telling you the playbook. He knows these people. They are all coming. Think about ETFs opening the floodgate. Think about spot allocations becoming normalized. This isn't hopium anymore. This isn't 2017. This is 2025. This is a new era, folks, and this is simple math. There simply isn't enough Bitcoin for that kind of capital to come in without the price going absolutely vertical. So when you start to hear Bitcoin $250,000, Bitcoin $500,000, Bitcoin 750,000, or even Bitcoin $1 million, it's going to happen. And guess what? Institutions, they love dips. They'll buy when retail's scared. Sounds familiar, right? Yeah, we're right back at that bear moment, everyone. Then we get this. This is pretty exciting news, and this is being covered everywhere. I'm going to give you my take on it. So Midas and Interlop Labs, they launched something called MXRP. It is the first liquid staking product for the XRP ecosystem. Around 6 to 8% yields and expanding XRP ledger into cross-chain DeFi. The station here during it was about 282. Okay, look, before we jump into listen to this clip, I'm throwing out my warning right now. I do not stake. I do not give up control of my assets. My assets sit in my wallet. I am not putting my assets on another website to stake. I am not doing anything where I will lose control of my crypto. It is my crypto. I stake one asset and one asset only, and that is Casper. And the Casper sits on my ledger device, and it does not have to leave my ledger. No one can take it from me. No one can get it. Okay, that's my warning, but we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about DeFi, because if you remember what DeFi did for Ethereum and Solana and what it did to the pricing of both of those assets, that is where we are going with XRP. Listen to this clip, and then we're going to really break this down.
Let's take a look at the chart of the day. Midas and Interop Labs have unveiled MXRP, pitched as the first liquid staking product for the XRP ecosystem, promising holders potential returns of up to 8%. This new token highlights a significant push to tie the XRP ledger into broader cross-chain liquidity flows. Announced at XRPL Seoul 2025, the product allows XRP to be converted into a yield-bearing asset that can be used across decentralized finance protocols for additional opportunities. Midas co-founder Dennis Dinkelmeyer said that MXRP could, quote, play a key role in unlocking new use cases for XRP. The targeted net returns for MXRP are set in the 6 to 8% range, though the final outcome will depend on underlying strategy performance. As of time of
now, look, if you don't know anything about DeFi, you don't know what this means, don't get cute. Just don't do it. You can lose your assets here. I'm throwing this out. You can 100% lose it. If you were trying to participate in a DeFi ecosystem, you can lose your assets. If it's just sitting and you're earning yield on it, you know, almost like a savings account or interest accounts where you earn some back, that is okay if you were comfortable with it and the way it's going down. But let's talk about this, because this was announced at our XRP Ledger event over in Seoul, Korea, okay? This has got me fired up because this could be the biggest DeFi unlock for XRP ever. And when I start talking about this, I start thinking of what happened in Ethereum and what happened in Solana. And that was really the catalyst that sent those two assets running, right? I mean, sky high. So we got this new yield bearing liquid stake token that's launching on the ledger itself. What does that mean? Okay. Well, it means that XRP holders can take their tokens and unlock up to a 10% APY in a safe and regulated way. It's powered by Axelar and Midas, issued under an EU approved regulatory law. So this isn't some sketchy yield farm that we've seen out there in the wild, wild west of DeFi, right? This is actual legit infrastructure. So here's the bullish part, okay? Because this token is liquid. So what is it? It's XRP. It is a liquid stake yield-bearing XRP token on the XRP ledger. We've talked about who it's issued by, Midas. We talked about the delta neutral strategy that is deployed on it as well. They stated that Ethereum provided the blueprint for us. It states that liquid staking tokens like STETH transformed ETH into the backbone of DeFi. They powered lending, trading, and new stablecoins, unlocking billions and fresh liquidity. So the bottom line out of all this, okay, this takes XRP from just a payments coin into a full DeFi powerhouse. And that's the kind of catalyst that lights the entire ecosystem on fire. But it gets even deeper here because we get to this. Paul had him on. Okay, big moves on the XRP ledger. Smart contracts are now live. Axler brings interoperability with 80 plus chains. Midas is powering the vault infrastructure to the XRP ledger. Your 3 key ingredients to kickstart a full DeFi ecosystem. Let's talk about this. Listen to this clip, and then I want to do a little flashback to both ETH and Sol so you understand and you get why this really got me going, folks.
Level set a little bit, because we finally have smart contracts in the XRPL ecosystem, and right now we have all the ingredients to build a DeFi ecosystem around the XRPL. So the 3 ingredients I'd like to focus on: one, of course, it's Axelar. With Axelar being the first interoperability platform connecting to XRPL, you now have access to the XRPL EVM, but also 80 other chains. Of course, the XRPL EVM itself is today a necessary component for DeFi in the XRPL ecosystem, because it's the first time we have smart contracts in the ecosystem. And the third building block is Midas. Midas is the biggest provider of vault infrastructure across the Ethereum ecosystem, and they're going to be coming to the XRPL EVM and connected to the XRPL itself through Axelar. So with these 3 ingredients, it's now time to kickstart the DeFi ecosystem.
It's time to kickstart it. All right. So if you need proof about how big this is, let's rewind the tape here, okay? Remember ETH before DeFi summer? ETH was trading sideways, kind of boring, right? Then DeFi protocols like Aave, Uniswap, Curve all exploded, and what happened to ETH? The price skyrocketed. It went like this. It was freaking nuts. Solana had the same story. It was just another L1 until DeFi apps, staking and liquidity incentives turned it into a juggernaut. Prices went ballistic because utility, folks, creates demand. We talk about that a lot. Utility plus demand will give you price appreciation. Now imagine that exact same cycle repeating with XRP, but this time it's not just hype, it is yield bearing. Liquid staking, regulated frameworks, and global asset managers involved in this. This isn't retail driven pump and dumps. This is institutional grade adoption, which we have seen before on ETH and Sol. Now, guess what? It is XRP's turn. And then we get this. We got history in the making. Ripple sat at the table in Downing Street with President Trump, UK's Chancellor Rachel Reeves, and US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Now, I wonder what they can be doing. Because if the XRP DeFi wasn't bullish enough, let's talk about what just went down here politically. Ripple was at the table with Trump, with the UK Chancellor, and with the US Treasury Secretary. Do you see any other companies at this table, folks? This is not just a meeting you stumbled into. Ripple wasn't walking down the block. They opened the wrong door and boom. Trump was like, hey, come join us. Come on. We got plenty of food and drinks. Don't worry about it. This is history in the making. The US, the UK crypto cooperation could set the stage for global standards for digital assets. And guess who was at the center of it? Ripple. XRP just isn't along for the ride here, everyone. It's freaking leading. This is the kind of institutional geopolitical positioning that makes these markets move for decades. When you got regulation, cooperation, and innovation all colliding, you're looking at the perfect storm. And guess what? XRP is right there. It's staring the damn shit. So let's tie this all together. We're at a bear trap, the smart money territory. Bill Miller IV is telling us that even the tiniest slice of retirement capital could make Bitcoin go flying even higher up into that higher six-figure territory. XRP is unlocking DeFi with a 10% yield opportunity that institutions will actually use, and historically has shown us that DeFi is going to send this thing to the moon. And then you got Ripple sitting at the global policy table, shaping the future of finance. And for some reason, you're bearish. So my question is, are you going to sit on the sidelines here? Or are you going to position yourself before the damn breakout? Because it's coming. If you got value from this video, do me a favor, smash that like button, drop a comment with your XRP or Bitcoin price predictions down below. And hey, subscribe so you don't miss another banger of a video. We're just getting started. And trust me, folks, the next few months, you're going to see history in the making.